Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to install the Apscale metabarcoding workflow. So currently the easiest way to install Apscale, Apscale Blast, Bolt Digger, Demultiplexer and Taxon Table Tools version 2 is to install it via Miniconda3. So Miniconda will create an isolated environment with all the suggested versions of each tool and also a specific Python version, so which helps us to better control the installation. So the current problem or issue at the moment is that for Mac and for Windows, vSearch and Blast cannot be automatically installed via Conda. So I have created this script which is called Apscale installer, which will then automatically also install vSearch and Blast Plus. So in the next two tutorials, I will show you how to install Apscale or the Apscale metabarcoding workflow for Windows and then also for Mac OS. So in this part, I will show you how to install Apscale and the Apscale metabarcoding workflow on Windows. So the easiest way to install it is using Miniconda, and here we can just click on Miniconda3 and download the installer. So I already did that. So it's already in my downloads. So we can just double click to execute it and follow the installation instructions here. Then we have to wait some seconds and then finish the installation. So just click next. We don't need these ones now, and click on finished. So what you can now find is that if you type Anaconda, you can see now here an Anaconda prompt, Miniconda, and this will now open a new terminal. So the good thing here about Anaconda is, about Miniconda, is that it creates separated environments. So currently we're in the base environment, but now what we want to do is create a Conda environment for our metabarcoding workflow. So this will include Apscale, Apscale Blast, Bolt Digger 2, Demultiplexer, and soon also Taxon Table Tools version 2. So for that, we need to go to this page here, open a link in a new tab maybe, and then download this file. So just click on download. So make sure that you have the windows.yml selected, and it should appear in your downloads folder. So what we now have to do is change our directory in the terminal to the downloads folder. So type cd for change directory and then downloads. This will now move you to the downloads folder. The next thing is that we have to create our environment or install our environment. And here we can now simply type conda env create -f. -f means from file. And now we have to select the metabarcoding _env windows 64.yml file. So this is basically equivalent to this command here from the tutorial. And now we can just type enter, and it will automatically detect the required channels and your platform and will install all the Python packages and also Python version 3.10 automatically. So we can now just wait some seconds and we will hear back until the installation is finished. Okay, now since the installation is finished, we can now activate our environment. So therefore we type conda activate metabarcoding. And now you can see that we changed from the base environment to the metabarcoding environment. So what we now have to do on Windows and also on Mac is to install vSearch and Blast Plus, because this can currently not be performed automatically from within Miniconda. So we have to use the Apscale _installer. So just type this command and press enter. which will now automatically install BLAS+ and also vsearch. So we can now wait again some seconds and we will hear back after the installation. So now the installation is finished. We can verify first vsearch. So we type vsearch -- help, press enter. Now we can see the vsearch manual, and now we can type +n -h, and we will see the +n manual. So if we now would want to exit this again, we could close this command shell here, the terminal, or we can also type conda deactivate. Then we are out again, back to the base environment. If you would want to activate it again, we want to type conda activate metabarcoding, and then we are back into our metabarcoding environment. And now you can move on to the next tutorial part where I will show you how to use Apscale. Next tutorial I will show you how to install the Apscale metabarcoding workflow on macOS. So therefore we first have to install Miniconda3. So we can open Miniconda3 here via this link. Scroll down a little bit, and on macOS you can see here, if you have an older Mac, you can use the Intel package installer. If you have a newer Mac, for example, like I do, and one chip Mac, then you can use this installer here. So just download this file, and then you should see this package installer here in your downloads folder. So you can just execute it, continue, agree, continue, and then click on install. I already did that, so I don't have to install or perform the installation now. So if you followed that, and we now open a new terminal, you can see here that in front of your username, you see this base in brackets. This means that the installation of Miniconda was successful. So what we now have to do is download an environment installation file for Miniconda. So we can click on here. We now want to download the macOS file. Click here, also on download, and it will download the file where all the packages and their respective versions are clarified. I already moved this file to this folder here in the installation folder. It can be anywhere on your PC, it's not really important. But for now, let's change the directory of our terminal to this folder here, because it's a bit easier. So we can just copy the folder path here and then type cd for change directory and paste the path. You now see that we changed our working directory to tutorial. What we now want to do is use this file that we just downloaded, the YML file, to create a new environment from this file. So we type this command here basically into our terminal. So we type conda env create -f, and now we have to use the metabarcoding env macOS YML file, and then we just press enter, and now we have to wait some seconds until the installation is finished. So now that the installation is finished, we can activate our new metabarcoding environment. So we now type, as also indicated here in the tutorial, conda activate metabarcoding. Now we can see that it changed from base to metabarcoding. The only thing that is now left to do is to install vsearch and also BLASTn, because at the moment it is not possible to perform this directly via Miniconda. It will be in the future, but for now it's not working, at least for Windows and for Mac. For the newer Macs on Intel, it's also possible to use Miniconda directly. So I wrote this program called Apscale installer, which you now can just execute. So we type Apscale installer, and press enter, and it will automatically install vsearch and blast plus. So now that the installation was finished, we can now verify if it was properly installed. So we type vsearch --help, and then we can see the vsearch help manual, and we can also type blast n -h, and then we can see the blast n help page. So now you are ready to go for using Apscale and the whole Apscale metabarcoding workflow, and you can, for example, continue with the tutorial where I show an example run on how to use Apscale and Apscale Blast.